Hello and welcome to GT3's. This is my brand new channel where you can expect to see all kinds of motorsport content. I hope you also enjoyed the little intro at the start. That took me about 6 painstaking hours to make that, but it was nevertheless quite fun. So I've been on iRacing for about a year and a half now, where I've mainly been racing GTPs, sitting at around 2.53k iRating. I did manage to win the 12 hours of Sebring with Sorrento Motorsports, which is the current team that I'm in, where I've done quite a lot of the special events. We did the Spa 12 hours quite recently, but specifically with this channel, I've always kind of wanted to get into GT3 racing. I've done a couple of races every couple of months, but I've never kind of fully went in and tried to learn it. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. I kind of want to do a lot more GT3 racing, obviously starting off with this kind of series, but which is mainly going to be documenting kind of my progress and, you know, just showing any good races that I do where you guys can just watch and feel free to leave any feedback whatsoever. I'm kind of sitting at about 2.5k, so it's definitely gone down by about 400-500 since I've been trying to do GT3s, and obviously the skill gap is quite crazy. But yeah, so that's kind of the main goal of the channel. Just kind of want to document my kind of journey into not just GT3s, but just sim racing in general. I've been doing it for, as I say, about a year and a half now, but kind of want to go a bit deeper into it. So hopefully this will be quite a cool place for you guys to come and watch some more content. But yeah, so this is my first flying lap out of the two. One thing I have noticed when learning GT3s is that it's very, very different from GTPs, which is obviously very obvious, but it's just a whole different kettle of fish, really. Even just the splits, everything is just so much closer, which is probably why I've lost so much iRating. But it's really fun, just kind of all the racing is a lot closer. I've mainly been doing IMSA, haven't really been doing much of any other kind of series so far. But I would definitely like to do some more kind of general GT3 series, and maybe I think the goal is eventually to do the Nürburgring, which I've started to learn, but I'm not blinding fast there. I know all the corners, I know what's coming up next, but I think especially with that track it's a whole different kettle of fish. And as I've said before, I want you guys to be more like my race engineers, to kind of help me to improve. I'm assuming a lot of you guys are much kind of higher rated, some of you probably even lower, which is fine. You can kind of, you know, join the train and learn from others, and obviously my experiences as well. Another one of my aims for this channel is to kind of give it a bit more of a cinematic kind of feel. A lot of my education, I did media and film at college, and then first year of uni I did film as well, so kind of want to use that and make it a bit more cinematic, which I hope you can appreciate with all the cameras and stuff throughout the race, especially when I do my pit stop. That was quite fun to kind of create a little sequence. I hope you enjoy that when we get to it. But yeah, I just kind of want it to be a bit more of a unique channel in kind of the way I approach editing it. So I hope you kind of enjoy this kind of unique style of editing. As I said again earlier, I do kind of want this to be a nice community, so I do have a Discord server. If anyone interested would like to join, it's just in the description. But obviously you can kind of get some racing tips and guidance from other people in the server. But onto the lap, now kind of finishing the second flying lap. Again, by no means I'm not lightning fast. But I do really like Interlagos, especially in GTPs. I really enjoyed it when it was there a couple of seasons ago. It's such a fun track. But kind of going in the last corner, I do find that corner quite tricky. Especially you can't really go off quite wide to kind of open the corner because you just get an off track, which I think they changed a couple of years ago. But it was a decent lap. I think this puts me in around P8 when I cross the line, which for my first session this week I'll happily take. And moving on to the race, we're now on the warm-up lap. I always forget when you're not in GTPs, you start like halfway through the lap. So I was kind of caught napping when the race does start, but So we do go green around about here, and the Mustang head does get a great bit of traction. I'm also not going to talk the entire race, so you guys can kind of just enjoy the race. And we do get some great battles with there was a Mercedes I had a great couple of lap battle with, which will be really interesting. But the start was quite nice, wasn't too hectic. Kind of maintained position going down into turn 1 here. I think there's the car just spinning off to the right, which luckily didn't take me or anyone else out. But so far the start was pretty decent. Obviously, as I said, maintained position, no damage. Just kind of chasing the cars ahead now, trying to stay with the pack. Coming up to the turn here, this is another corner I do find myself struggling with. Sometimes I do hit it perfectly, sometimes though it feels like the car just does not turn. I gear down twice here. I'm not sure if that's the recommended thing to do, but that's what I've been doing and it does work here very well. Same with this corner. Some people keep it in second. I've tried that, but I feel like it just does not work and it's just too slow and just doesn't get that rotation. In terms of the setup, I am using a high-mo setup, so obviously it's not going to be one-to-one with if you're comparing my laps with anything, or just to make you guys aware, but yeah, I am using a high-mo setup here. So I've made it through the first lap cleanly, just got the Mercedes quite close behind, lost a bit of time to the car's head and obviously just been overtaken by the Mercedes there. He did do a pretty good move into turn 1 and then he does get quite loosey on the exit here, which I did not even notice when I was driving that, but I was recording the replay and I was like, that was quite close actually. So I've got a nice little battle going on here. I've got quite a bad exit for the McLaren. It's right on me here. Yeah, just couldn't get that move done. Decided to slot in behind, just keep it safe. It's only lap 2. And he nearly hit some Mercedes there, which would have been very helpful. Coming onto the start-finish straight, about to start lap 3. Got quite a decent run, so I think I'm going to go for it in turn 1. Just can't get the move done. He gets a good exit and keeps it clean. So just slot in behind again, and we've got a GT3 coming up behind as well. He must have had a nightmare of a start. I got quite a decent run on the exit of the last corner here, but one thing I noticed throughout this entire race is the Porsche has no straight line speed whatsoever. I'm not sure if that's a setup thing, or I'm maybe just not getting a good enough exit as I think, but throughout the entire race I was just never gaining on the straight, no matter how close I was. Even in the toe there's just minimal gains really, but in the corners it does feel good, so hopefully I'm making time in the corners at least. Jumping forward a bit, we are still on the attack. I noticed the McLaren goes very, very deep, so I try and go for it. And we do make a bit of contact, I just went in a bit too deep and just couldn't get it turned, which is totally my fault, but no damage to either of us, and both on our way, but did also get the position, which is quite handy. Here you can see the massive train of cars still behind me, so still kind of into it. I think my main goals for this race was just obviously to finish and just to try and keep pace with people, because the last couple of races I've been doing in GT3's I've just been so slow compared to everyone else, because my iRacing is obviously kind of built when I've done GTP racing, so it doesn't really transfer over very well when I'm doing GT3's, but so far so good. P8 at the minute, so still kind of keeping with the pack, which I'm happy with. So jumping forward again here, do have a Porsche which has gone quite slow, must have had an off or something, so I pick up that position for free, which is very handy. So last lap, lap 5, was my fastest lap of the race, in which I did a 1:32.2, which I was fairly happy with. I was looking at the top guys, they were doing high 31, sorry, which I'm okay with. Obviously I haven't really done much practice, so you know, my main kind of goal was to stick with everyone, which seems to be going well so far, but just in a battle here with the McLaren. Nearly making contact there when he kind of comes over a little bit, but kept it nice and clean. Very close, not to spin him there when he comes over again. I had quite a lot of good battles with drivers during this race. This is quite a battle-intensive race. Obviously, we're not fighting for the win, but you know, it's still enjoyable to be able to fight with people, no matter the position. Especially when I'm learning the car, it's all just kind of experience, really. Is how I'm viewing it. Jumping forward ahead, I did have the Porsche very close to me, so I decided to just let him go and try and not lose any time and see if he can hold up the McLaren ahead that I'm chasing currently. But so far, P10, could be worse, could also be better. Definitely a lot to kind of take into the next race, but so far so good. Hopefully I can kind of keep it going and get across the line in a decent position with no damage. We're kind of now getting all the GTP traffic, so hopefully they don't take me out or vice versa. So around about here is where I get sent on from about 20 postcodes back, so I decided just not to fight that one. I had to take some avoiding action, but no damage, so it could be worse again, but just trying to stay with this pack and not lose many positions, but getting overtaken quite a bit here. Everyone's pace is just a little bit faster than mine at the minute. Again, you can see the massive array of cars right behind me. And here's when I start having a great battle with this Mercedes, which I was on about earlier. Had a great battle with this guy. This guy was very clean. Came very close to rear-ending him there, but luckily no contact again. The McLaren behind somehow lost his bumper. I'm not sure how that happened. But yeah, this is kind of the main battle of the race against this white Mercedes here, which was just really, really enjoyable again. I can't stress enough. I see a gap here, so I'm going to go for it. And I get that move done nicely. That puts me up another position. But it's still very close. And again, there's just no straight line speed with the Porsche. So I take to the inside and give him the outside to try and keep the inside for turn 1, which obviously turns into the outside for turn 2. So here we're still battling. He tries to take it out the outside, but that's just never going to work, especially when I'm covering the inside, and he kind of dives it. Then I do kind of go for a switchback, which started off very well. Just couldn't get that speed, and then again it's very hard to get that move done around the outside of that corner there. Also, feel free to let me know in the comments if you like this kind of style of video. I can always do more commentary or less commentary. But going back to the race, he goes quite deep there, which was quite confusing as I was nowhere near him at all. So I don't know if he was trying to defend me or what he was doing, but quite close. So trying to get the move done, but just quite hard to do it in this second sector. Now here is where the Mercedes decides to pit on lap 12, which is quite a bit earlier than everyone else. I'm not sure why he did that, or if he just had bad tyres or drive-through maybe, even though I highly doubt it. But yeah, I'm not sure why he pit. I think as you'll see in just a minute, I think most people pitted on around lap 17. So that's quite a chunk earlier, which definitely is not the play. But now coming in for my stop, obviously no tyres here, so just taking the fuel. So see a BMW spinning off in the distance there. Came out very close to this McLaren, who I was racing right on the exit, but he just goes a bit wide and allows me to kind of escape for a bit. we're now starting the final lap of the race. In general, it's pretty decent race. A lot of people, obviously, as you can see before, I was kind of fighting with that Mercedes for around about P11, P12, I believe, and we managed to gain quite a few positions. I know the Mercedes got taken out by a GTP car, which is very beneficial to me, but quite sad to see him gone. We're having quite a good battle. But yeah, in general, it was a pretty decent race. Obviously, nothing too amazing. Coming into the final corner now, and onto the back straight. But yeah, overall it was a decent race. It was nice to have a good battle with the McLaren at the start, and then the Mercedes kind of halfway through into the race. And shame what happened to him getting taken out, but that is the GT3 life. I am gonna have to get used to it really. Luckily haven't been taken out yet, but across the line, P8. Very happy with that. You know, first kind of race, so I'm just obviously happy to finish as well, but I'll take a P8. I think I gained about 59 rating, which puts me up to, I believe, 2.5k. But yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments what you guys kind of thought of this video. If you like to see this kind of cinematic style with all the kind of camera angles, or you know, you like to see the commentary or less commentary or more, just kind of let me know your general feedback. And again, especially with my driving style, feel free to let me know any thoughts and any ideas for how I can improve. Just kind of looking to kind of see what you guys had to say. But yeah, that was it. A decent race, and hopefully a good first video for you guys to enjoy. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.